Hey, good morning, folks. How are we doing today? We are at the Mohave Museum of History and Arts in Kingman, Arizona, down at the Research Library. I am working on the Kingman Main Street project. You can find more about that at kingman.tours. You've heard me talk about this a little bit, and I've had a lot of questions on how this project's going and where we're headed with it. So I thought I'd bring you along for a little bit of research. This is not only a wonderful museum that we're very fortunate to have here in Kingman, but they have one of the top research libraries, in my opinion, here in the state. Lots and lots of materials, and it was just enhanced recently. Larry McDonald donated Philip McDonald's, his brother's, collection of Route 66 material, postcards, and other items, and some great travel guides. And well, you can help me take a peek. But Philip would have been an interesting fellow to meet. Apparently, he was a passionate Route 66 enthusiast. Family moved from Ohio to California back in 1951. We're going to take a look and see if we can find some materials that are pertinent to this. Phase one of this Kingman Main Street walking tour will be roughly 40 sites. It'll be our public art sites as well as historic sites and film and celebrity associated sites here in Kingman. And we want to get into the stories, not just the sites themselves, but the people behind them. And if you go to kingmantours.com, we have a sample tour completed that you can take a look at. It's kind of an innovative project, and I'm sure excited to be a part of this. And as you can see here, it's kingman.tours. You can see an artist rendering of the plaza that'll be a part of this with bricks, be the Route 66 Walk of Fame and donated bricks. And then the kiosk, you can see it there in the upper left corner. That's how the tours will be coming together. So let's see what we've got here. Man, what kind of surprises we've got for us. Mickey was gracious enough to set this up for us. So let's see what we got. What kind of goodies we've got here in this McDonald collection donation. Oh boy. Mr. Mike Ward, you have to come to Kingman now. Let's see what we've got. Automobile Road of National Old Trails Road, Automobile Club of Southern California. Hmm. 1925, Winter Routes and Connections. Los Angeles to Phoenix, road charts and maps, auto camps, AACA. Most interesting, let's see. Dixie Diner, yes. AAA official handy book, Transcontinental National Old Trails Road. New York, Philadelphia, this is mostly east, but we do have Grand Canyon routes, Los Angeles and Albuquerque, Kansas City and Denver. Hulk, Arizona, Fort Courage. Unfortunately, that course has been having a lot of issues lately. They just had another fire up there recently. Photographs. Take a look at that. Wow, wonderful postcards. Highway 66 between Flagstaff and Williams. Very meticulous fella here on his tagging and details. That makes just research a little bit easier. Russia's Traveler's Guide to Where to Stop at the Best Hotels, Camps, Cafes, Garages, U.S. Highway 66. Okay. You see, we're going to have to make at least 1 or 2 trips down here to go through this. But I thought I'd bring you along for the adventure since you had plenty of questions. National Trails Road and U.S. Highway 66. See if we've got a date here, because there's been some questions on when U.S. 66. Well, this is interesting. It's still talking on National Trails Road, New York City, Los Angeles, Highway 66, Chicago to Los Angeles, and it's dated 1934. So that would be after the National Trails Road era, and after Harry Truman was no longer part of the National Trails Road Association. Anybody who's watching there this morning, I could sure use, one thing we've been trying to figure out for a long time is what set Harry Truman off. What his argument was with here in Kingman, and why the Madonna of the Trail statue ended up in Springerville instead of Kingman. This is really wonderful here, National Old Trails Road and U.S. Highway 66 guide, but it's the Olympic Games, 1932. The U.S. Highway 66 Association had joined partners, I understand, with the Olympic Committee on this, and was promoting Route 66. Part of the great marketing campaign, like we talked about on our podcast, Route 66 isn't the most historic or most scenic highway, but from its inception, it has always had the best press and the best publicity. Automotive Blue Book, 1921. Mr. Mike, I believe you have quite a collection of these. But this one really is intriguing.
Feel free to take those out of the plastic.
All right, Nikki. Oh, look at this. It even has a compass in the cover. 1914, 1915 panoramic automobile road map and tourist guide. Oh, Southern California. Let's see what we've got here. This looks very fascinating. My anemic collection pales in comparison. I have a long ways to go to compete with Mr. McDonald. Automobile Tour Book of California, Western Oregon, Western Washington. Wonderful strip maps. Let's see if we have a date here. This is 1918. Interesting. Nothing here for Amboy in 1918, but we have Baghdad. Well, that's really intriguing. Baghdad in Siberia, but not Amboy in that listing. I have to be careful because I go down so many rabbit holes when I start doing this. I find all sorts of new things to look for, and I've got to focus more on Kingman. This is a great book here. These turn up on eBay every once in a while. These were reprinted in the 1918s, 1913-14 Arizona Good Roads Association Illustrated Road Maps and Tour Books. Those turn up sometimes on eBay, and I carry a copy in the Jeep when I'm out and about. Helps me decipher some of these roads. Now this book is really intriguing. Campsite Guide including airplane landings in the United States with maps showing locations of both. Compiled for the National Aeronautical Association of USA, Washington, D.C. Now, let's see if we have a date here. This would be 1923. I have never encountered this before on the... I always get a kick out of the things they recommend that you travel with. Two, not just one spare tire, two spare tires with repair kit and 2 tubes. It's interesting that most of these guides also recommend that you travel with a pistol and ammunition. Find that interesting. Interesting. Here we go. Kingman, population 3,000. They have a campground at the airstrip with water, toilets, bath, light, restroom, stove, and fuel. But no location. Well, that's also interesting. The airstrip here in Kingman, the first, this was, I thought was 1919. Apparently it was maybe a little bit sooner, would be on Stockton Hill Road, roughly, where the Mountain View Cemetery is today. For those familiar with Kingman, it's just a little distance off Route 66. And then the second airstrip was the TAT airline, which is the terminal building is still here. It's part of Brown Drilling. It's the headquarters. It's off Armour. To put that in perspective for people who drive through Kingman, it would be down behind Jack in the Box and Arby's down that direction. Petrified Forest, Santa Fe Railroad. Guidebooks. And lots of postcards. Clausen guides. These are relatively a scarcity. The green guides from Clausen is pretty scarce. Chicago, Denver. State institutions, colleges, general information. West of Barstow, California. There we go. This is Kingman. I'll get some photographs and I'll share this with you too. But here's one I've never seen of the Arcadia Lodge. The Arcadia Lodge, I have not verified this, but it's supposed to be the first motel in Kingman with a swimming pool. And one of the rarest properties, counted among the rarest properties on Route 66, are the pre-war motels. And the Arcadia was built kind of as a resort. Opened in 1939. We have a plethora of pre-war motels here in Kingman. The White Rock Court was the only motel in Kingman that was listed in the Negro Motorist Green Book. Most of the Holiday House, the restaurant, the motel is still there. This is on Highway 93. It was 466 at one time. The restaurant burned a few years ago, but the hotel complex is still there. Chief Motel. These all appear to be from the 1960s. Yeah, the phone number, this would probably be into the 70s. Showing US 93 and not US 466. There's some duplications here, but that's okay too. Whiting Brothers Motels. I've never seen this particular view of the Arcadia, and it looks to be 60s. Oh, we got one car in the background, early 60s. I will get some pictures of that. Let me put this aside. And glad Mickey found me a. Use the big desk here. He has most of this labeled, tagged, and sleeved, so it makes it very interesting, very easy. The Sheridan House, Albuquerque. This would be National Old Trails Road, some of this. But like I say, I go down rabbit holes sometimes. We have to focus on Kingman here, but let's see what we have. Highway 66 between Flagstaff and Williams. The General Sheridan House in Albuquerque.
This is Mickey. Hi, this is Sharon. I'm working
1917 postcard. I'm not familiar with the Winslow Hotel. Santa Fe. Here's a good one from Kingman. This is what raises a lot of questions. I'll be posting more on this shortly, but Central Commercial opened in 1917, but was the bank building built before that? And I'm starting to believe it was. That's one we definitely should consider for our kiosk downtown. Continental Divide. Grants, New Mexico. The ice caves over near El Moro, the El Malpai. Here's a personal photo, undated, but this is the National Old Trails Road Bridge down on the Colorado River. And for those who want to fill their head with useless knowledge, that bridge appears in the 1940 movie The Grapes of Wrath. Navajo silversmiths at Babbitt's in Flagstaff. Now here's a great picture. I don't know how clear you can see this, but this is the gold mines in Oatman. Pretty hard to date this, but it's definitely the teens. Looks like the Tom Reed. This one is really interesting. This is Kitchen's Opera House. I believe this, it doesn't say on here, but I believe this is Gallup, New Mexico. And Kitchen's opened about 1898, if I remember right. Excellent early view of 1912 of downtown Gallup, Railroad Avenue. Absolutely astounding there. More from Gallup. It's a view of Kingman I had never seen. These early views of Santa Rosa, New Mexico are pretty rare. This building here, I believe, is the Lake Building, and it's still there in Santa Rosa. Well, I can see this is going to be more than a morning project. This is, my goodness, what a collection. This is astounding. Sun and Sand Motel, still there, but pretty bad shape last time I was through. Folks in Santa Rosa may recognize this. Will Rogers Motel, some beautiful signage. I'm really pleased to announce the La Loma Motel in Santa Rosa has been given a new lease on life. It's getting a lot of great reviews. I have not stayed there. Cactus Motel is gone in Gallup. Leatherwood Manor, Tucumcari, New Mexico. This is now the Roadrunner Lodge. Beautiful street scene there, and the Apache Motel, I'm afraid, won't be with us much longer. It's in pretty bad shape. But that's not getting us to Kingman, is it? Cactus Motel, Moriarty, New Mexico. The Kingman Motel, this is gone now. This was next to Rutherford's 66 Family Diner. The Pony Soldier is still here. Great view. I did not know that the Grand Canyon Caverns was once, the motel was once affiliated with Best Western Hotels. Here's Roy's in Amboy, California. A very nice postcard from the early 1950s. An interesting view that I'm not familiar with. The Rendezvous Cafe interior shot in Tucumcari. I sure love the notes that people wrote to each other back then about their trips. And this is from November 6, 1927, from Gallup, New Mexico. And we have arrived here 5:30, drove 250 miles. That's a pretty darn good day's run, 1927. Now the question comes up, what kind of car were they driving? Most likely was not a Model A. Well, 27 would be T models. So it definitely probably wasn't a T to cover that kind of mileage in that time. The original western terminus of Los Angeles, Broadway and 7th Street downtown. Scott Piotrowski in California would be the one to talk to on that one. Postcard Needles, California. Interesting, the postmark has a January 9th date, 8 a.m., but does not have the year. Interesting. An early view of the mines at Oatman. Dries, if you're watching this from the Netherlands, you were just asking about pictures of Oatman. Mohave Museum of History and Arts here in Kingman. This is there's Tucumcari Mountain, the ranching scene near Tucumcari. And this is dated 1914. Interesting. Postcard was picked up, but it was mailed from Maine. Courthouse and jail in Tucumcari, very early. Mailed to Estancia, New Mexico. Denny's, Gallup. These are extraordinary photos here. I'm going to have to make several return trips. This is an absolutely incredible treasure trove of Route 66 history. I just wrote about the Canyon Motel. That was it's gone now. It was involved in a really horrendous murder situation several years ago. Alvarado Hotel in Albuquerque, which is now gone, unfortunately, is a beautiful place. White City Court, another rare piece there. This is quite the extensive collection. Steve Ryder, if you're not watching, I'll make sure you know about this. Sorry we did this. Well, now you have an excuse, another return trip to Kingman. This would be the Highway House in Albuquerque. This is interesting, even though I'm off topic here. Like I said, we're supposed to be looking for Kingman, but the Highway House sign has survived, and for more of that useless knowledge to fill your head, the Highway House motels, as far as I know, this is the last one with its original signage. That was an early motel chain set up by Del Webb, the fellow who put together Sun City here in Arizona. See, I've done pretty good filling my head with all kinds of useless knowledge now, haven't I? Acoma, the Sky City. Very early view of Klein's Flying Sea Ranch. Now this, of course, is now Klein's Corner, New Mexico. This hasn't got me any closer to where I need to be with Kingman. So, we will continue that story on another day. And let's see here. What an astounding collection. I wish this gentleman was here. I could sure shake his hand. This is Arizona Oatman. Painted Desert Oatman. Ooh. Scenes from Highway 66. Very early views of Oatman here. Some are personal photographs and some are postcards. Let's see if we have a date on any of these. No, this was never mailed, but it's a very early view of the Tom Reed again. Probably 1920, plus or minus a year or two. But I need to make the best of our time. I need to find Kingman. We have Sanders, Sitgreaves Pass. Now this should be intriguing. Let's see if we have anything from Gold Road. Beautiful Old Trail 66 between Oatman and Kingman. No dates. Duplicated card, but maybe one has a date. These are never been mailed. Very interesting. This was before the highway was paved, going up through Oatman. Pretty famous views there. Yes, a lot of these views I have never seen. These really early Frasher postcards. I know, don't tease. I gotcha. Here's a scene on US 66 near Kingman, Arizona. Questions come up several times of when that was first signed. Now this is a very nice photo here from near Schaefer's Fishbowl Springs. Mike, how are you doing today? Glad you could join us. We have Topak, Truxton. Now that's interesting. Topak, Truxton. The Orlando Motel, that's pretty common. Now, Two Guns. Canyon Padre, Trading Post. A lot of early family photos. Obviously predate Philip McDonald's trip in 1951. Some of these are 1920s and 1930s. Here's a great one I have not seen on the Two Gun store. But I get a kick out of people who lament that Route 66 has become too touristified. As you can see from this picture, dated 1940, the Two Guns store, curio shop, the interior, Route 66 has always been about tourism. Harry Miller's Two Guns there. Of course, old Harry Miller, I think people are familiar with the story there about his murder of Cundriff. There's a great picture of the Crozier Canyon Ranch. We're getting closer here. Beautiful. This would be before the flood of 1930s. Now, this is the first picture I have seen of the tourist court and cottages at 7V Ranch, Valentine, which is Crozier Canyon. Most of the cabins are still there. When I worked at the ranch, they were using that for bunkhouses. That is the first time I've seen the cabins in a postcard. It's the first postcard I've seen of the Valentine Indian School as well. This is what happens with my research time. I get pulled into very interesting places. This is unusual to see a postcard of the staff at the Valentine Indian School. Most interesting. Okay, let's see. Well, to expedite this a tad bit, let's take a look and see if we can find one. Kingman and Gold Road. That's Kingman. There we go, Kingman. Okay. Let's see what we can find here. My goodness, he's got an extensive Kingman collection, which is very, very good for what I'm needing here. Poor old Fort Courage, we mentioned that previously, but Joseph City, Hackberry, Gold Road. Wonderful views of Gold Road, the Gold Road Camp. A very early view, 1915. Now this, I'll get pictures and post, but this would have later became, I believe, Route 66, National Trails Road through the canyon. A colorized postcard of Gold Road, that's very unusual. And that's early as well. Yes, 1909. That's probably the earliest view I have ever seen of Gold Road. There's a wonderful view of Route 66 in Gold Road. Interestingly enough, when I just finished this article for Route magazine, we were trying to find pictures of Dutton Motors. And I found two in the family archives, and they were gracious enough. Mickey was gracious enough to scan that for me, but I have never found any other photos of the Dutton garage. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. You can see, well, let's see, right here is the Dutton garage, but you can just see the roof line and the first pump on the station there. Yes, this is wonderful right here. This is tremendous. This is the old road that I photographed a while back. This is actually below Route 66. This is the original road, but unfortunately this card is not dated that I can see. Published by H.H. Watkins, though, Kingman, Arizona. Watkins will be part of the Kingman the walking tour. He had the drugstore, and his brother had a photography studio here in Kingman. That'd be where El Palacio is now on 4th Street downtown. Absolutely wonderful collection. Well, let's see what we can find for Kingman, and that's, of course, why we're here today, is Kingman. There's a great early, does not appear to be a postcard. This is an actual photograph, 4th and Beale Street, downtown Kingman. This is poor old prospectors there. Interestingly enough, I believe this would probably be in the 20s, even though it appears to be much older with the Burroughs and the prospectors. A lot of these photos would be, postcards would be ideal for this Kingman walking tour. For example, I believe the Travel Lodge is on their list here. Ramblin' Rose Motel, yes, it's on their list. And here's, that dates to 1959 as the Travel Lodge. And when you drive down Route 66, if you look at the Rambling Road, you can still see the TL on the railings where it was the Travel Lodge. Ranchito Motel, this is still here. It's changed names a few times, but the motel's starting to look a little decrepit, but it has still survived. Jade Restaurant, here's a wonderful view of the Jade, and I think that's on their list too. Yeah, Jade Restaurant. Let me should write some of these numbers down for. So 0088 for the Jade Restaurant, and the Travel Lodge was 0076. I'm just so grateful that Mr. McDonald was so meticulous in his cataloging. Here's another view of the Arcadia. This would be early 60s. I'd like to find, let's see what we have here. I guess the Arcadia Lodge too, but let's see if we can find an earlier view, and I'll bet you we can with his extensive collection here. This is even a better one of the Jade Restaurant for the, you can see I spent the first half hour being sidetracked here. I go down these rabbit holes and I find these amazing things like from Two Guns and Gold Road. The old Chamber of Commerce building was used to sit right here by the museum. That was one of the buildings moved in from the Kingman Army Airfield, and it's gone now. This is the Mohave Museum of History and Arts, right where I'm sitting today. The old Wallapai Mountain Lodge, that burned a few years ago, unfortunately. The Roadway Motel, which is still here. It's now the Arizona Inn. Almost directly across the street from the museum. Imperial Motel is gone, but the Route 66 Association of Kingman has acquired the sign, and they're working on funds for restoration. This is one of the most incredible collections I have had the privilege of wandering through. Catholic Church, I think, is on here. St. Mary's Catholic Church. And do we have a date? No. Have I piqued your interest yet? Wait till you see when after we finish here, I'll go get some, show you around the museum a little bit. This is one of the great museums in, well, along Route 66. It's just a fantastic place. And for research, you just cannot beat this museum. Here's another one from the Ranchito Motel. This is up on the east end of Kingman. The post office. Now this one, I believe, U.S. Post Office on 4th Street. And we have a 1958 date. That's wonderful on this. A lot of these I'll impose upon Miss Mickey to scan later, and this will really expedite the project on getting these kiosks together. Chasing down photographs from some of these sites has been just an absolute exercise in futility and frustration. Some of these were very popular postcards, such as this. I've seen dozens and dozens of these over the years. The Branding Iron Motel, here's a great one for you. This sign, the Branding Iron sign, this is now apartments. This has survived, but the Branding Iron Motel sign was found in a wrecking yard down in Phoenix, Arizona. It's now down the street here at Legacy Signs, awaiting restoration from the Route 66 Association of Kingman. Excellent picture of the Elks building here. This is 1904, and the Elks building, the 1904 Elks Lodge, was also our first theater here in Kingman. Let me share this one with you. This is really nice. And then I'm going to have to let you go, and I will have to make a return trip at some point. Here's a great picture of the Elks Lodge in Kingman, still here. This lamppost on the corner, during the research, we got sidetracked on a little. We found out those were put in about 1914. Wonderful picture here of the Kingman Army Airfield when it was a storage depot. Unfortunately, most of these planes ended up going for scrap metal. Kingman High School's gone. Is this Palo Christie County Hospital? That's odd. I truly don't recognize the building. A fairly early view of the Ranchito Motel. I had no idea the motel was that old. Apparently it was started out as cabins, possibly. This happened to a lot of the old motels here along Route 66. Nice aerial view of Kingman. Some of the times these postcards make me laugh because they were so poorly done. Like this could be Los Angeles or Kingman. It's so blurred, the photograph. And yet it still became a photograph that somebody would buy and send to someone. I am surprised, but not giving up here. Most of the pictures seem to be from the 50s and 60s. Here's a view of the Wallapai Mountain spelled with a W. We were just talking about that. W in the H spelling. Branding Iron Motel again. See. And now this is a frustration. Oh, okay, the Kit Carson Motel. This is one of the leading motels in Kingman in the 1930s. And that's gone now, unfortunately. There's a view of the planes at the airfield I have never seen. Great view of the courthouse. We can probably use that for this walking tour as well. Let's see. How are things in Kentucky, Jim? Doing well there? This Sunday morning, we're going to have on Coffee with Jim. We're going to be talking more about this program, this Kingman Historic District walking tour. I'll be giving you kind of a virtual overview of the tour. Roping Cowboy Court. Gypsy Garden we lost a few years ago. Very old place. Now here's an interesting view of the Hotel Beale that I was not familiar with. What do we have a date on it? And no date. Interesting. And no postmark. But they do mention the Harvey Eatery across the street. That would put this sometime around, and it's published by Watkins again, so this would probably be early teens. More view of the planes there at the Kingman Army Airfield. I am finding a few of the things we need here for this project, which I'm grateful for because I thought I was... Coronado Quartz is gone. This is a real good picture I've never seen before. But look at how many planes were stored at the Kingman Army Airfield. That is the best one I've seen yet of the jade. So let's fix that. Gallup Studios here in Kingman did so many of these. This is interesting. National Old Trails Road, Old Trails Highway, and Ocean to Ocean Highway. I was under the impression the Ocean to Ocean Highway was further south down around Yuma. Published by Kingman Drug. Hillcrest Motel, still here. Now apartments, like so many of the old motels. Oh, here's a wonderful, wonderful photo. Oh, frustration. Look at this, downtown Kingman. The frustration on this one is we have a postmark of July 19th, 5 p.m., and then it says 191. We don't know when. This is the teens. Tremendous picture of downtown Kingman. Well, folks, I will let you go. I'm going to be here for a bit. I got to go find some lunch soon. And we will have to do this again. This will be our one of many visits, I'm sure. But I wanted to share with you the museum today, share with you the archives, kind of share with you a little bit what we're doing here with the Kingman walking tours, and see if we can get you a little bit excited about both the museum and the Kingman Main Street project. And always try to bring you along for the visits when we can, share the adventure, so to speak. And want to thank Louis Keene. He sponsors a lot of our On the Road with Jim programs, the unofficial mayor of the Uranus Fudge Company and General Store in Uranus, Missouri. And we are always grateful to Mr. Louis for his assistance and his support. And don't forget, like say this Sunday morning, 7 o'clock, we'll be doing another episode of Coffee with Jim. And we have a great program lined up for you. But if you got any questions on Route 66 travel, museums, anything I can do for you, presentation-wise, give me a holler. I'm pretty handy at telling folks where to go. Until we meet again Sunday, my friends, I will bid adios, and well, I'll just keep poking along here. We'll see everybody Sunday morning. Vaya con Dios, mi amigos.